Hey there, welcome back to our channel. We're thrilled to have you join us today. If you enjoy our content, please show your support by hitting that like button and subscribing to stay updated with all our latest videos. Now, let's dive into today's exciting story. In the quiet corners of a medieval realm, where the air was thick with the scent of blooming jasmine and the whispering winds carried tales of valiant knights and grand conquests, there existed a world behind the heavy stone walls of the royal castle that few ever glimpsed. It was a world woven from silken shadows and whispers, where secrets lay buried like hidden treasures beneath layers of time and tradition. The castle stood like a sentinel on the crest of a gentle hill, its turrets piercing the sky with a solemn grace. Vines of ivy clung to its ancient stones, as if trying to listen in on the stories that echoed within. Beyond its formidable gates, a labyrinth of corridors twisted and turned, leading to chambers filled with the relics of past glories and the quiet hum of present schemes. In this realm of whispered intrigues, Queen Alara reigned, a figure as enigmatic as the moonlit ocean. Her presence was a tapestry of elegance and strength, her every gesture cloaked in an air of mystery that left courtiers and commoners alike in awe. Her eyes, deep and watchful, seemed to hold the wisdom of ages, yet there was a flicker of something else within them. An untold story, a secret that lay coiled like a serpent in the shadows of her soul. Alara was not born of royal blood but had ascended to the throne through a marriage that many called destiny and others deemed scandalous. Her husband, King Alden, had been captivated not by her beauty alone, but by the quiet power that radiated from her like the sun's warmth on a winter's day. Together, they ruled with a balance of mercy and might, their reign a golden age in the annals of their kingdom's history. Yet, beneath the crown of gold and the velvet robes, Alara carried a burden that few could imagine. It was an inheritance not of jewels or lands, but of knowledge, dangerous, potent knowledge that had been passed down through the women of her lineage like a sacred trust. This legacy was known as the Codex of Shadows, an ancient tome hidden away in the castle's deepest vaults, its pages filled with arcane wisdom and secrets that could alter the very fabric of the world. The existence of the Codex was a secret that Alara guarded with her life, for she understood the chaos that would ensue should it fall into the wrong hands. Yet, there were nights when the burden weighed heavily upon her, and she would wander the castle's moonlit corridors, her thoughts a tangled web of duty and desire. It was during one such night, when the castle lay draped in the silver glow of the full moon, that Alara found herself drawn to the Tower Library, a sanctuary of books and scrolls that held the accumulated knowledge of centuries. The air was cool and still, filled with the comforting scent of aged parchment and leather bindings. As she entered, the flickering flames of the hearth cast dancing shadows across the walls, and the silence embraced her like an old friend. She moved gracefully through the rows of shelves, her fingers lightly tracing the spines of books as if greeting each one by name. Her steps took her to a secluded alcove, where a solitary window framed the night sky in a portrait of stars. There, in the gentle embrace of solitude, Alara allowed her thoughts to roam free. Her mind drifted to the Codex, to the secrets it contained, secrets of alchemy and prophecy, of lost civilizations and forgotten gods. The weight of its knowledge was both a gift and a curse, a duality that mirrored the very nature of power itself. But it was not just the Codex that occupied her thoughts. There was also the matter of the court, a vibrant tapestry of personalities and ambitions that required her constant vigilance. Among them, Lady Serafina stood out, a noblewoman of striking beauty and cunning intellect, whose loyalty was as elusive as the morning mist. There were whispers of her aspirations, of alliances forged in shadowed corners, and Alara knew well that trust was a coin too precious to spend lightly. Yet, there was something about Serafina that fascinated Alara, a kindred spirit perhaps, or a rival worthy of her attention. Their interactions were a dance of words and glances, each carefully measuring the other, like duelists testing the weight of their swords. For in the Game of Thrones, it was not the might of arms but the sharpness of wit that often decided the victor. As the night deepened, Alara's thoughts were interrupted by the soft creak of the library door. She turned, her senses alert but her demeanor calm, to find a figure silhouetted against the doorway. It was Serafina, her presence as unexpected as a summer storm. "Your Majesty," Serafina greeted, her voice smooth and mellifluous, like the flow of a serene river. "I did not expect to find you here at this hour." Alara inclined her head, a small smile playing upon her lips. "It seems the night has a way of drawing us to the same places, does it not, Lady Serafina?" Serafina stepped into the room, her movements as fluid as a dancer's, her eyes reflecting the firelight with a keen intelligence. "The library is a sanctuary for those who seek more than what the day offers," she replied, her gaze lingering on Alara with a hint of curiosity. "And what is it that you seek tonight?" Alara inquired, her tone light yet probing. Serafina paused, as if considering her answer. "Perhaps the same as you, Your Majesty, a moment's respite from the burdens we carry." Alara nodded, acknowledging the truth in the words. "Indeed, we all have our burdens," she said softly, her thoughts briefly returning to the codex and the secrets it held. The air between them was charged with a silent understanding, a recognition of shared burdens and unspoken ambitions. In that moment, Alara sensed that Serafina was more than she appeared, a player in a game that stretched far beyond the confines of the court. But whether she was ally or adversary, only time would tell. Their conversation drifted to other matters, the tension easing into a companionable exchange of ideas and observations. They spoke of the kingdom's prosperity, of the harvest that promised abundance, and of the delicate balance that kept peace with neighboring realms. Yet, beneath the surface of their words, the undercurrents of intrigue and power swirled like unseen currents in a placid sea. As the first light of dawn began to creep through the window, casting a pale glow over the library, Serafina took her leave, her presence lingering like the echo of a melody. Alara watched her go, her mind a whirl of questions and possibilities. The night had revealed much, yet left much more concealed in its wake. With a sigh, Alara turned back to the window, her gaze sweeping the horizon where the first blush of morning painted the sky in hues of rose and gold. She knew that the coming days would bring new challenges, new decisions, and perhaps new revelations. But for now, in the tranquil stillness of the dawn, she allowed herself a moment of peace, her heart a steady drumbeat in the symphony of life. And so, the Queen stood alone in the quiet embrace of the library, a solitary figure against the vast tapestry of the world. A keeper of secrets, a guardian of knowledge, and a ruler whose story was far from over. Alara lingered in the library, allowing the silence to envelop her like a comforting shroud. The heavy scent of aged parchment and leather-bound tomes filled the air, mingling with the faint aroma of lilacs wafting in through the open window. The library, with its towering shelves and shadowed corners, was a sanctuary, a place where time seemed to stand still, and the burdens of the crown could be momentarily set aside. As the sun climbed higher, casting its warm glow over the castle, Alara's thoughts drifted to the secrets she harbored, secrets as ancient and formidable as the stones that formed the fortress's walls. These were not mere whisperings of courtly scandal or trivial affairs, but truths that could shake the very foundations of her realm. Her mind wandered back to the conversation with Serafina, the enigmatic woman whose words had hinted at mysteries yet untold. The Queen's eyes settled on a particular tome, its spine worn and its pages yellowed with age. This book, unlike the others, was not merely a record of history or a collection of tales. It was a key, a cipher to understanding the hidden past and the veiled truths that lay buried beneath layers of time. Alara reached for it, her fingers brushing against the cool leather, and felt a shiver of anticipation, as if the book itself was alive, eager to divulge its secrets. With a deep breath, Alara opened the tome, her eyes scanning the faded script that danced like shadows across the page. It spoke of a lineage entwined with magic and mystery, of queens who wielded power not just through crowns and thrones, but through knowledge and ancient rites. Among these stories was a name that resonated like a distant echo in Alara's soul, the name of Queen Althea, her ancestor. Queen Althea had ruled during a time of great upheaval, when the land was torn by conflict and the people cried out for peace. Yet, what history recorded was only a fragment of her tale. The true legacy of Althea was shrouded in enigma, whispered in hushed tones by those who dared to remember. It was said she possessed a gift, a connection to the unseen world, and that her rule was guided by forces beyond mortal comprehension. Alara traced the lines of Althea's story, her heart quickening as she read of hidden chambers and secret councils, of alliances forged in shadows and the delicate balance of power maintained through subtlety and grace. The pages were filled with spells and incantations, rituals performed under the light of the moon, and a bond with the natural world that transcended the earthly plane. As she delved deeper into the text, Alara felt a stirring within her, a resonance that seemed to awaken something dormant in her blood. Could it be that the same gift flowed through her veins? The thought both exhilarated and terrified her. To wield such power was a double-edged sword, a burden as much as a blessing. Yet, in the quiet of the library, with only the flicker of candlelight for company, Alara felt a sense of purpose, a calling that she could not ignore. The sound of footsteps in the corridor outside broke her reverie, pulling her back to the present. She closed the book with a soft thud, her mind still buzzing with the revelations it contained. Rising from her seat, she moved to the window once more, her gaze sweeping over the sprawling landscape that lay beyond the castle walls. The world was waking, the air alive with the songs of birds and the rustle of leaves. It was a reminder that life went on, even as secrets lingered in the shadows. Alara knew she could not face the challenges ahead alone. She would need allies, those she could trust to stand by her side as she navigated the treacherous waters of court politics and the ancient mysteries that called to her. Her thoughts turned to Serafina, whose presence had been a catalyst for the night's discoveries. There was more to the woman than met the eye, and Alara sensed that their paths were intertwined by fate. With a determined stride, Alara left the library, her mind set on gathering her confidants. She would need their counsel, their wisdom, and perhaps even their courage. The corridors of the castle echoed with the soft rustle of her gown as she made her way through the familiar halls, each step a testament to her resolve. As she entered the council chamber, she was greeted by the faces of those who had been her most steadfast supporters. There was Lord Aemon, a seasoned advisor whose loyalty was matched only by his cunning, Lady Isolde, a voice of reason and empathy, and Sir Rhys, a knight whose strength and honor were unwavering. Together, they formed the core of her inner circle, a group bound by trust and a shared vision for the realm. Alara took her place at the head of the table, her presence commanding and serene. "My friends," she began, her voice steady, "we stand on the cusp of change. The past has revealed its mysteries, and with them, new paths open before us. We must tread carefully, for the road ahead is fraught with challenges and hidden dangers." The eyes of her confidants were fixed upon her, their expressions a mix of curiosity and concern. Alara shared with them the essence of what she had learned, the legacy of Queen Althea, and the potential that lay within her own grasp. She spoke of alliances to be forged, of threats that loomed on the horizon, and of the delicate balance they must maintain to ensure the prosperity of the realm. As she spoke, the room seemed to come alive with a sense of purpose, the air charged with the weight of their collective resolve. Each member of her council offered their insights, their strategies, and their unyielding support. Together, they wove a tapestry of plans and contingencies, a web of intrigue and foresight that would guide them through the uncertain times ahead. The sun had reached its zenith by the time their meeting concluded, bathing the room in a warm, golden light. Alara rose from her seat, her heart buoyed by the strength of her allies and the knowledge that she was not alone in this journey. As she looked around the table, she saw not just advisors and knights, but kindred spirits, each committed to the cause they served. With their plans set in motion, Alara knew that the days to come would test their mettle and their resolve. Yet, she felt a quiet confidence, a belief in the power of unity and the enduring spirit of her people. Whatever secrets the future held, she was ready to face them, guided by the wisdom of the past and the promise of what was yet to be. And so, as the sun began its descent, casting long shadows over the castle, Alara stood at the threshold of a new chapter in her reign. A queen, a guardian, and a seeker of truths untold, she embraced the challenges and the mysteries that lay ahead, her heart a beacon of hope in the ever-turning tapestry of time. As the meeting adjourned, the echoes of hushed voices and the rustle of parchment faded, leaving behind a serene silence, punctuated only by the distant call of a raven. Alara, feeling the cool stone beneath her feet and the whisper of the evening breeze through the open windows, took a moment to breathe deeply, her senses attuned to the world around her. The scent of lavender from the garden below mingled with the faint aroma of beeswax candles, creating a soothing balm for the soul, a reminder of the life that thrived beyond the fortress walls. Alara moved gracefully through the corridors of her ancestral home, her fingertips brushing against the aged stone, each crack and crevice a testament to the history held within these walls. The castle was a living entity, a guardian of secrets and stories, its very foundations steeped in the legacies of those who had come before her. She passed through the great hall, where tapestries depicting ancient battles and mythical creatures swayed gently in the evening air, their vibrant threads telling tales of valor and sacrifice. Her steps led her to the heart of the castle, a place cloaked in mystery and reverence, the library. It was a sanctuary of knowledge, an archive of the written word where light danced across the spines of books, illuminating titles in forgotten languages and scripts. Alara's fingers traced the gilded lettering of a tome dedicated to the history of her realm, its pages a reservoir of wisdom and insight. She found solace here, surrounded by the whispers of the past, and it was here that she sought answers to the enigmas that shadowed her reign. Seated in a plush armchair by the hearth, Alara opened a volume chronicling the reign of her great-great-grandmother, Queen Leora. Leora, a figure of both admiration and enigma, had been a guiding star for Alara, her life marked by profound triumphs and veiled sorrows. The tales of her reign were laced with intrigue, her legacy a tapestry woven with threads of power and secrets. Alara read with rapt attention, her mind alight with questions and possibilities. As the fire crackled softly, casting flickering shadows on the walls, Alara's eyes fell upon a passage that spoke of a hidden chamber, a secret room long forgotten by time and memory. Her heart quickened at the prospect of uncovering such a place, a sanctuary that might hold the key to understanding the mysteries that had eluded her. The description was vague, the language cryptic, yet it ignited a flame of curiosity that burned brightly within her. The chamber was said to be concealed within the deepest recesses of the castle, a place accessible only to those who knew the ancient ways. It was a refuge where queens of old would retreat to seek counsel from the spirits of their ancestors, a hallowed ground where the veil between the past and present grew thin. Alara felt a pull, an irresistible urge to uncover this hidden realm and the truths it might reveal. Determined, she rose from her seat, the book cradled in her arms like a precious artifact. The castle was quiet now, the hour late, as she navigated its labyrinthine passages, her footsteps echoing softly in the stillness. The path before her was shrouded in mystery, yet her heart was resolute, her spirit unwavering. Guided by intuition and the cryptic words of her ancestor, Alara ventured deeper into the castle than she had ever dared before. She descended spiraling staircases, their stone steps worn smooth by centuries of passage, and traversed corridors cloaked in shadow. The air grew cooler, the silence more profound, as she delved into the bowels of the fortress, each step drawing her closer to the secrets she sought. At last, she reached a narrow passageway, its entrance obscured by a tapestry depicting a scene of celestial beauty, stars and moons woven in shimmering threads. Alara paused, her fingers lingering on the tapestry's edge, her breath catching in her throat. This was it, she felt it in her bones. With a steady hand, she pulled the tapestry aside, revealing a hidden door, its surface carved with symbols that spoke of protection and wisdom. Taking a deep breath, Alara pushed the door open, its hinges groaning softly in protest. The air within was tinged with the scent of earth and ancient wood, a testament to its long-sealed nature. She stepped inside, her heart pounding with anticipation, and was greeted by a sight that took her breath away. The chamber was modest in size, yet it exuded an aura of profound serenity and power. The walls were adorned with intricate carvings depicting scenes from the annals of her dynasty, a visual narrative of triumphs and trials. In the center of the room stood a stone altar, upon which rested an ornate chest, its surface etched with runes that glimmered in the dim light. Alara approached the altar with reverence, her fingers tracing the chest's intricate designs. Here, she felt the presence of those who had come before her, a chorus of voices urging her onward, encouraging her to seek the truths hidden within. With a whispered prayer and a steady hand, she opened the chest, its lid creaking open to reveal its contents. Inside lay a collection of scrolls and artifacts, treasures from a bygone era. Among them, a scroll caught her eye, its parchment aged yet remarkably preserved. Carefully, she unrolled it, her eyes scanning the elegant script that spoke of alliances forged and promises kept, of betrayals and redemption. The scroll held the key to understanding the secrets of her lineage, a narrative that would illuminate the path forward. As she read, Alara felt a profound connection to her ancestors, their wisdom guiding her, their strength fortifying her resolve. She understood now that the challenges she faced were not hers alone, but a continuation of a legacy that spanned generations. The secrets she uncovered were not merely relics of the past but living truths that could shape the future. The chamber, once a place shrouded in mystery, had become a sanctuary of revelation and hope. Alara knew that the journey ahead would be fraught with challenges, yet she felt emboldened by the knowledge she had gained. The secrets of the past were now her guiding light, illuminating the way forward as she embraced her destiny. With renewed purpose, Alara carefully returned the scroll to its place within the chest, her heart light with the promise of what lay ahead. She lingered a moment longer, offering silent thanks to the spirits of her ancestors, before turning to leave the chamber, her steps sure and confident. As she emerged from the hidden passageway, the first light of dawn was beginning to grace the horizon, painting the sky in hues of pink and gold. The castle, once steeped in shadow, was bathed in the gentle glow of morning, a testament to the enduring cycle of night and day, of secrets and revelations. Alara stood at the threshold of a new day, her heart filled with hope and determination. The secrets she had uncovered were but the beginning, a foundation upon which to build a future of strength and unity. With the wisdom of the past to guide her and the promise of the unknown to inspire her, she was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. A queen steadfast in her purpose, a guardian of her people, and a seeker of truths untold. The castle stirred to life as Alara made her way through its ancient halls, her mind still weaving through the intricate tapestry of secrets she had uncovered. Each step echoed the legacy of those who had walked before her, their whispers intermingling with the soft rustle of her gown. She moved with a grace that belied the weight of her newfound knowledge, her thoughts dwelling on the revelations of the scrolls and the mysteries they promised to unravel. As she descended the grand staircase, the scent of morning dew and blooming jasmine wafted through the open windows, a fragrant reminder of the world awakening around her. The castle gardens beckoned with their vibrant colors, a sanctuary where the weight of her duties seemed to lift, if only for a moment. Alara found solace in the quietude of nature, a place where her mind could wander freely, unfettered by the constraints of her role. Yet, even amidst the serenity, a lingering sense of anticipation thrummed beneath her skin. The secrets she had unearthed were not merely relics of the past, but seeds of change, each one holding the potential to reshape the future of her reign. Alara envisioned a kingdom where truth reigned supreme, where shadows no longer held sway over the hearts of her people. Her musings were interrupted by the arrival of Sir Cedric, her trusted advisor and confidant. His presence was a steadying force, a reminder of the loyalty and wisdom that surrounded her. "My queen," he greeted, his voice a gravelly tone of reverence and concern. "The council awaits your presence in the Great Hall." They are eager to hear of your plans for the future." Alara nodded, her resolve firm. "Indeed, Sir Cedric, let us not keep them waiting. The time has come to share what I have learned and to forge a path forward for our kingdom." Together, they traversed the castle's corridors, their footsteps a measured cadence that spoke of purpose and unity. As they entered the great hall, Alara was met with the expectant gazes of her council, a gathering of wise minds and valiant hearts, each one committed to the prosperity of the realm. The room was bathed in the soft glow of morning light, filtering through stained glass windows that depicted scenes of valor and peace, a testament to the kingdom's storied past. Alara took her place at the head of the council table, her presence commanding yet approachable, a queen among equals, ready to lead but also to listen. "Esteemed members of the council," she began, her voice steady and clear, "I stand before you today not only as your queen but as a bearer of truths long hidden. In the depths of our ancestors' wisdom, I have discovered secrets that, once revealed, may alter the very fabric of our kingdom." She paused, allowing her words to settle, to take root in the minds of those gathered. "These secrets are not to be feared but embraced. They offer us the opportunity to learn from the past and to build a future that honors the legacy of those who came before us." The council listened intently, their expressions a mix of curiosity and resolve. Alara's eyes swept across the room, meeting each gaze with unwavering confidence. "Our kingdom has been built upon the foundations of courage and unity. It is with these principles in mind that I propose we embark on a journey of discovery, to uncover the truths that have been hidden for too long." A murmur of agreement rippled through the council, a chorus of voices united in purpose. Sir Cedric, ever the stalwart supporter, spoke up, his voice carrying the weight of experience. "Your vision is one we all share, my queen. Let us move forward with open hearts and minds, guided by the wisdom of the past and the promise of the future." With the council's backing secured, Alara felt a renewed sense of purpose, a conviction that the path she had chosen was the right one. The meeting continued, discussions of plans and strategies filling the air, each idea a stepping stone toward a kingdom transformed. As the council session drew to a close, Alara felt the weight of her responsibility mingling with a sense of hope. The secrets she had uncovered were no longer burdens but beacons, guiding her toward a destiny she was ready to embrace. The day unfolded with a sense of quiet determination, each moment imbued with the potential for change. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, casting its warm rays upon the castle, Alara found herself drawn once more to the gardens, a place where her thoughts could roam free. The air was alive with the symphony of nature, the gentle rustle of leaves and the distant trill of birds creating a melody that soothed her soul. She wandered along the garden's winding paths, each step a meditation, a reflection on the journey she had embarked upon. It was in this moment of solitude that she felt a presence nearby, a subtle shift in the air that spoke of another's approach. She turned to find a figure emerging from the shadows, a cloaked stranger whose identity was hidden beneath the folds of a dark hood. Alara's heart quickened, a flutter of anticipation mingling with a tinge of apprehension. The stranger's movements were deliberate, each step measured as they drew closer. Yet, beneath the cloak of mystery, there was no sense of malice, only a quiet intensity that piqued her curiosity. "Who are you?" Alara inquired, her voice steady yet filled with an undercurrent of intrigue. The stranger paused, their features obscured by shadow. "A seeker of truths, much like yourself, your majesty," came the reply, the voice melodic and calm, resonating with a wisdom that belied their anonymity. Alara's curiosity deepened, her mind racing with possibilities. "What truths do you seek?" The stranger's gaze met hers, a spark of recognition passing between them. "The truths that bind us all, the stories hidden within the folds of time. I have come to offer you knowledge, to share secrets that may guide your path." Intrigued by the stranger's enigmatic words, Alara found herself drawn into their orbit, a dance of shadows and light. She sensed that this encounter was no mere coincidence, but a thread woven into the tapestry of her destiny. Together, they walked through the garden, their conversation a whispered exchange of ideas and revelations. The stranger spoke of ancient prophecies and forgotten legends, each tale a piece of a larger puzzle that seemed to hold the key to the kingdom's future. As the day waned, the garden bathed in the golden hues of dusk, Alara felt a sense of clarity emerging from the shadows. The stranger's knowledge was a gift, a beacon guiding her through the labyrinth of secrets that had ensnared her ancestors. With a final nod of understanding, the stranger turned to leave, their form disappearing into the twilight, leaving Alara with a sense of anticipation and purpose. The encounter had left its mark, a reminder that the journey she had embarked upon was far from over. As night fell over the castle, Alara stood at the threshold of possibility, her heart a vessel of hope and determination. The secrets she had uncovered were but the beginning, a foundation upon which to build a future of strength and unity. With the wisdom of the past to guide her and the promise of the unknown to inspire her, she was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The moon cast a silvery glow over the castle's ancient stones as Alara returned to her chambers, her mind a whirlwind of thoughts and revelations. The night air was cool and crisp, carrying the faint scent of lavender from the gardens below, a soothing balm against the weight of the secrets she now carried. Each step she took echoed softly in the silent corridors, a rhythmic reminder of her resolve. Inside her chamber, a fire crackled softly in the hearth, its warmth reaching out like an inviting embrace. Alara paused at her writing desk, its surface cluttered with parchments and scrolls, each one a testament to her relentless pursuit of the truth. She picked up a quill, its feather soft against her fingertips, and began to write, her thoughts flowing onto the page like a river unbound. The legends she had learned were more than mere stories. They were a tapestry woven with threads of mystery and intrigue, each one revealing a glimpse of the queens who had come before her. These women, bound by duty and desire, had hidden secrets that shaped the kingdom in ways unimaginable. Alara could feel their presence, like whispers in the wind, urging her forward. As the quill danced across the parchment, she recalled the tale of Queen Isolde, who had ruled with a wisdom that belied her years. Isolde had been a master of diplomacy, her words as sharp as any blade. But hidden beneath her regal exterior was a secret alliance with a neighboring kingdom, a pact forged in the shadows to ensure peace in turbulent times. It was a secret that had protected her people, a silent shield against the ravages of war. Then there was the story of Queen Serafina, a figure shrouded in mystery and myth. Serafina was said to possess a beauty that could captivate the fiercest of hearts, but it was her cunning that had truly left its mark. She had orchestrated a vast network of spies, their loyalty unyielding, to gather intelligence from every corner of the realm. Her secret court of shadows had been her eyes and ears, a silent army that had kept her one step ahead of her enemies. Alara imagined these queens, their secrets weaving through the fabric of history, each one a thread in the grand tapestry of the kingdom. She felt a kinship with them, a shared understanding of the burdens they had borne. Their secrets had not been acts of deception, but rather acts of love and protection, sacrifices made for the greater good. The fire in the hearth crackled, sending a shower of sparks into the air, as if applauding the courage of these queens. Alara set down the quill and leaned back in her chair, her eyes drifting to the window. The moon hung low in the sky, casting its silvery light across the landscape, a beacon in the darkness. In the quiet of the night, Alara allowed herself a moment of reflection. The path she had chosen was fraught with challenges, but it was also filled with promise. The secrets she had uncovered were not burdens, but gifts, a legacy that she could use to shape the future of her kingdom. She felt a sense of peace settle over her, a certainty that she was not alone in her journey. Her thoughts turned to the stranger, whose presence had been both unsettling and illuminating. There was an air of mystery about them, a sense that they too carried secrets of their own. Alara wondered if their paths would cross again, if the stranger held more pieces of the puzzle that she had yet to discover. But for now, she knew what she must do. With renewed determination, Alara rose from her chair and crossed to the window. She gazed out at the vast expanse of her kingdom, the land she had sworn to protect. The moonlit fields stretched out before her, a patchwork of shadow and light, a reminder of the balance she sought to achieve. In the days that followed, Alara threw herself into her duties with a fervor that surprised even her most trusted advisors. She met with her council, sharing the knowledge she had gained, and together they began to lay the groundwork for a new era of prosperity and unity. The secrets of the past had given her a vision for the future, a path forward that honored the legacy of the queens who had come before her. Yet, even as she immersed herself in the affairs of state, Alara could not shake the feeling that there was more to uncover. The kingdom was a living entity, its heart beating with the rhythm of its people, and she was determined to listen to its whispers, to hear the stories that remained untold. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of amber and rose, Alara found herself drawn to the castle's library. It was a sanctuary of knowledge, a labyrinth of shelves filled with tomes and scrolls, each one a vessel of history and wisdom. The scent of aged parchment and leather filled the air, a comforting presence that wrapped around her like a cloak. She wandered through the aisles, her fingers trailing along the spines of books, until she came upon a section that caught her eye. It was a collection of journals, their pages yellowed with age, the ink faded but still legible. These were the personal writings of queens past, their thoughts and musings captured for posterity. Alara selected a journal at random, its cover adorned with intricate filigree, and opened it to a page in the middle. The handwriting was elegant and flowing, the words a window into the mind of a queen who had lived centuries before. As she read, Alara felt a connection to this woman, a shared understanding of the challenges they faced. The journal spoke of dreams and fears, of hopes and regrets, a candid exploration of a life lived in service to a greater cause. Alara found herself engrossed, the words resonating with her own experiences, her own struggles. It was as if the queen was speaking to her across the ages, offering guidance and solace. As the night wore on, Alara continued to read, her mind a tapestry of thoughts and emotions. She realized that the secrets she had uncovered were not meant to be hidden away, but to be shared, to inspire and guide those who would come after her. The past was a teacher, its lessons invaluable, and she was determined to learn all she could. With a newfound sense of purpose, Alara closed the journal and rose from her seat. The library was silent, the only sound the soft rustle of pages as the books whispered their secrets to one another. She felt a sense of peace, a certainty that she was on the right path, that the kingdom's future was bright with promise. As she made her way back to her chambers, the castle seemed to come alive around her, its walls echoing with the stories of those who had walked its halls before her. Alara felt their presence, their strength and wisdom, a guiding light in the darkness. She knew that the journey was far from over, but she faced it with courage and conviction, ready to embrace whatever secrets the future held. The night had deepened into a velvety darkness, and the castle, with its towering spires and ancient stones, was bathed in a soft, silvery moonlight. Shadows played along the corridors, and the cool night air carried the faint, lingering scent of lavender from the gardens below. Alara moved with quiet grace, her footsteps barely whispering against the cold stone floor as she navigated the labyrinthine passages. Her mind was a swirling tapestry, woven with the fibers of history and the threads of her own awakening. The journal she had discovered was but the beginning, a portal into a world where the past sang its songs of triumph and tragedy, of love and betrayal. It was a world she was eager to explore, for within its depths lay the keys to her own destiny, and perhaps, the destiny of the kingdom itself. As she reached her chambers, the heavy wooden door closed with a soft thud behind her, sealing her in a sanctuary of warmth and flickering candlelight. The room was a haven of comfort, lined with rich tapestries and adorned with the soft glow of lanterns casting amorphous shadows on the walls. Alara approached the window, her eyes drawn irresistibly to the moonlit landscape beyond. The courtyard lay serene and still, a world untouched by the machinations of power and the burdens of rule. Yet, within the tranquility of the night, Alara felt the subtle pull of something more, a whisper of secrets yet to be uncovered, a promise of revelations waiting to unfold. She turned away from the window, her gaze falling upon the journal resting on the table, its leather cover gleaming softly in the candlelight. With a thoughtful sigh, she picked it up, her fingers tracing the intricate designs etched into its surface, a map of sorts, leading her into the heart of its mysteries. She opened it once more, the pages inviting her into their embrace, and as she read, the words seemed to dance before her eyes, alive with the spirit of the queens who had penned them. Each entry was a testament to resilience, a narrative of women who had wielded power not with a scepter, but with a wisdom that transcended the limitations of their time. They were queens who had navigated the treacherous waters of politics and intrigue, who had forged alliances and shattered expectations. They had ruled with compassion and strength, their legacies etched into the very fabric of the kingdom. Yet, buried within the lines of their triumphs were whispers of darker truths, secrets that had been carefully guarded, hidden beneath layers of protocol and propriety. Alara's heart quickened as she delved deeper into their stories, drawn into a world where shadows danced with light, and where every truth held within it the seed of deception. One tale, in particular, captured her imagination, a queen whose wit and cunning had earned her a formidable reputation, yet whose heart had been ensnared by a forbidden love. The queen's words spoke of passion and longing, of a love that defied the conventions of the court, yet was destined to remain a secret, a flame that burned brightly but could never be seen. Alara could feel the queen's anguish, her words a symphony of emotion, each note resonating with a longing that transcended time. It was a story of sacrifice and resilience, a testament to the strength of the human spirit, and as Alara read, she felt a kinship with this long-departed sovereign, a shared understanding of the burdens and joys of leadership. Yet, beneath the surface of the queen's tale lay another secret, one that sent a shiver of anticipation down Alara's spine. The queen had hinted at a hidden chamber within the castle, a place where she had retreated to ponder the weight of her decisions, a sanctuary known only to a select few. The mention of the chamber was fleeting, a mere whisper within the tapestry of her story, yet it was enough to ignite Alara's curiosity, to set her mind racing with possibilities. The chamber was described as a refuge, a place where the queen had sought solace and clarity, away from the prying eyes of the court. It was said to be hidden behind a tapestry, its entrance concealed within the folds of history, waiting to be discovered by those who knew where to look. Alara's pulse quickened at the thought of this hidden sanctuary, a place where secrets lay waiting to be uncovered, where the past spoke in hushed tones, revealing its truths to those who dared to listen. She felt a thrill of anticipation, a sense of adventure that called to her, urging her to seek out this hidden chamber and uncover its mysteries. With newfound determination, Alara set the journal aside and began to plan her exploration. She would wait until the castle was quiet, until the world was asleep and the shadows were at their deepest. Then, she would embark on her quest, her heart guided by the whispers of the past and the promise of discovery. The hours passed slowly, each moment stretching into eternity as Alara awaited the perfect time to begin her search. The castle was a living entity, its halls echoing with the passage of time, its stones steeped in the stories of those who had come before. She felt the weight of their presence, the silent encouragement of queens long gone, urging her forward, guiding her steps. Finally, the moment arrived. The castle was silent, a world wrapped in the embrace of night, and Alara slipped from her chambers, her heart alight with anticipation. The corridors stretched endlessly before her, their shadows deep and mysterious, and as she moved through them, she felt a sense of purpose, a certainty that she was walking in the footsteps of the queens who had come before. The journey to the hidden chamber was fraught with suspense, each step echoing with the possibility of discovery, each shadow a potential hiding place for the secrets of the past. Alara's senses were heightened, attuned to the whispers of the castle, the subtle clues that would guide her to her destination. And then, she found it, a tapestry depicting a scene of serene beauty, a garden in full bloom, its flowers vibrant and alive. The queen's words echoed in her mind, a guiding light that led her to the entrance hidden within the folds of the fabric. With a deep breath, Alara reached out, her fingers brushing against the tapestry, feeling for the hidden latch that would reveal the chamber beyond. The tapestry parted with a soft whisper, and Alara stepped into the darkness, her heart pounding with excitement and anticipation. The chamber was small and intimate, its walls lined with shelves filled with books and scrolls, the air heavy with the scent of old parchment and forgotten dreams. Alara felt a sense of awe as she surveyed the chamber, her eyes drawn to the intricate carvings on the walls, the delicate beauty of a place that had been a sanctuary for the queens who had ruled before her. Here, in this hidden refuge, they had pondered the weight of their crowns, the burdens of leadership, and the secrets that had shaped their lives. As she explored the chamber, Alara felt a connection to the past, a bond forged through the shared experiences of those who had walked this path before her. The room was a repository of wisdom, a testament to the strength and resilience of the queens who had ruled with grace and courage, their stories interwoven with the fabric of the kingdom. In this moment of discovery, Alara knew that she was part of something greater, a legacy that transcended time and space, a lineage of powerful women who had shaped the course of history. She felt their presence with her, a guiding light in the darkness, and she knew that she would carry their stories with her, as she forged her own path in the world. The journey was far from over, but Alara felt a sense of peace, a certainty that she was on the right path, guided by the whispers of the past and the promise of the future. The secrets she had uncovered were not meant to be hidden away, but to be shared, to inspire and guide those who would come after her. As Alara stood in the quiet sanctum of the chamber, the flickering candlelight cast long shadows that danced upon the ancient walls, their movements like silent echoes of the past. The air was thick with the scent of aged parchment and lavender, a soothing balm that seemed to calm her racing heart. She could almost hear the soft rustle of silk gowns and the faint murmur of conversations long past, as if the very stones retained the memories of those who had once graced this sacred space. Alara's fingers traced the elegant script of the scrolls laid before her, a tapestry of wisdom and knowledge woven by the hands of queens who had come before. Each parchment told a story of strength and sacrifice, of triumphs and trials, revealing the complexities of power and the delicate balance of ruling with both heart and mind. These were not mere historical records. They were personal diaries, intimate glimpses into the souls of women who had shaped the destiny of the kingdom. One scroll caught her eye, its edges frayed with age, the ink faded yet legible. It spoke of a queen named Isolde, a woman whose beauty was said to rival the dawn, yet whose intellect was her true crown. Isolde had ruled during a time of great turmoil, when enemies circled like vultures and alliances were as fragile as spun glass. Yet, beneath her serene demeanor lay a mind sharp as a blade, capable of outmaneuvering even the most cunning of foes. As Alara delved deeper into Isolde's tale, a picture emerged of a queen who had mastered the art of deception, using it not as a weapon of betrayal, but as a shield to protect her people. Isolde had cultivated an image of aloofness, allowing her adversaries to underestimate her while she orchestrated intricate plans behind the scenes. Her court was a stage, and she the director, guiding the players with an invisible hand. Alara marveled at the sheer audacity of Isolde's strategies. One account detailed how she had orchestrated a false betrayal, allowing her most trusted advisor to be captured, only to have him feed misinformation to the enemy. It was a dangerous gambit, but one that had saved countless lives, turning the tide of a conflict that had seemed insurmountable. Yet, beneath the tales of cunning and strategy lay a more intimate story, one of love and loss. Isolde had been deeply in love with her advisor, a man named Aemon, whose loyalty to her was as steadfast as the stars. Their love was a secret, hidden from the prying eyes of the court, a tender bond forged in the crucible of shared purpose and mutual respect. But the demands of the crown were heavy, and Isolde had been forced to place duty above her heart, a sacrifice that haunted her until the end of her days. Alara's heart ached with the poignancy of Isolde's story, a reminder of the burdens borne by those who wore the crown. The tale resonated with her own struggles, the weight of expectation and the sacrifices demanded by her role. Yet, it also filled her with hope, a reassurance that strength could be drawn from vulnerability, and that love, even when hidden, could be a source of profound power. As the candle flickered, casting a warm glow upon the parchment, Alara felt a stirring within her, a resolve to honor the legacy of the queens who had come before. She would embrace their wisdom, learn from their triumphs and their mistakes, and carry their stories forward into the light of a new dawn. With a gentle sigh, Alara placed the scrolls back into their resting place, her heart full of gratitude and determination. She turned her gaze to the small window at the far end of the chamber, where the first light of dawn was beginning to creep over the horizon, painting the sky in hues of rose and gold. It was a new day, a new chance to shape the future. But before she could step into the world that awaited her, Alara noticed a small, ornately carved box tucked away in a corner, half hidden beneath a pile of dusty tomes. Curiosity piqued, she retrieved it, her fingers brushing against the intricate patterns etched into the wood. The box was locked, but the key lay beside it, as if waiting for her to unlock its secrets. With a click, the lid sprang open, revealing a collection of delicate objects wrapped in silk, a small vial of perfume, a locket, a ring, and a bundle of letters tied with a faded ribbon. Each item seemed to pulse with stories untold, mysteries awaiting discovery. The letters, yellowed with age, were addressed to a queen named Serafina, a name Alara had heard only in whispers. Serafina was a figure of legend, a queen whose reign was shrouded in mystery, her story lost to the mists of time. Intrigued, Alara carefully untied the ribbon and unfolded the first letter, her eyes scanning the elegant script. The missive spoke of a love affair, passionate and forbidden, between Serafina and a knight sworn to protect her. Their love was a flame that burned brightly, defying the constraints of duty and decorum. Yet, it was a dangerous liaison, fraught with peril and shadowed by the ever-watchful eyes of the court. As Alara read, she was drawn into a tale of romance and intrigue, of stolen moments beneath the stars and whispered vows in the stillness of night. Serafina's letters were a testament to a love that defied the bounds of time and circumstance, a reminder that even queens were not immune to the call of the heart. But the letters also hinted at a darker secret, one that threatened to unravel the very fabric of the kingdom. Serafina's knight was privy to a conspiracy that reached into the highest echelons of power, a plot that sought to unseat the queen and plunge the realm into chaos. The letters were both a declaration of love and a desperate plea for salvation, a cry for help from a woman caught in a web of deceit and betrayal. Alara's pulse quickened as she pieced together the fragments of Serafina's story. The queen had been a master of subterfuge, using her love for the knight as a means to uncover the conspiracy and protect her kingdom. It was a dangerous dance, one that had cost Serafina dearly, yet her courage and determination had ultimately preserved the realm. As Alara placed the letters back in the box, her mind was a whirlwind of thoughts and emotions. The secrets she had uncovered were a tapestry of human experience, of love and loss, power and vulnerability, courage and sacrifice. They were stories that echoed through the ages, resonating with her own journey and inspiring her to forge her own path with integrity and strength. The first rays of sunlight spilled into the chamber, casting a warm glow upon the stone floor. Alara knew that she could not keep these secrets hidden, locked away in the shadows of history. They were meant to be shared, to inspire and guide those who would follow in her footsteps. With a resolute heart, Alara left the chamber, her spirit buoyed by the whispers of the past and the promise of the future. She carried with her the stories of queens who had dared to dream, to love, and to lead, women who had shaped the course of history with their courage and vision. And as she stepped into the light, Alara knew that her own story was just beginning, a new chapter in the timeless saga of queens and kingdoms. As Alara emerged from the dimly lit chamber into the soft embrace of the early morning, the world around her seemed to exhale a breath of anticipation. The castle, ancient and regal, stood as a silent sentinel, its stones imbued with the whispers of generations past. The towers reached for the sky, brushed by tendrils of mist that wove through the air like spectral fingers. The courtyard below was a tapestry of shadow and light, where the dew-drenched grass shimmered like a field of tiny diamonds kissed by the dawn. Alara descended the winding staircase, her footsteps a gentle echo in the stillness. Her heart was a symphony of emotions, the rhythm of her pulse a steady counterpoint to the melody of birdsong that filled the air. She could feel the stories she carried within her like living entities, each one a vibrant thread in the rich tapestry of her consciousness. As she stepped into the courtyard, the scent of earth and wildflowers enveloped her, a fragrant reminder of life's ephemeral beauty. She paused, closing her eyes to savor the moment, to ground herself in the present, even as her mind danced with visions of the past. The stories she had unearthed in the chamber were not mere relics of history. They were living memories, vibrant and full of life, whispering their truths into her soul. The queens whose secrets she had uncovered were not unlike the flowers that surrounded her, each unique in their beauty and resilience, each with their own tale to tell. There was Queen Alice, who had ruled with a heart full of compassion, her wisdom a beacon in times of darkness. Her secret had been her unwavering belief in the power of forgiveness, a lesson learned through the pain of betrayal and the healing balm of mercy. Then there was Queen Isolde, who had loved fiercely and fought bravely, her spirit unyielding in the face of adversity. Her secret, buried deep within the annals of history, was a clandestine romance with a knight who had forsaken his vows to follow her into exile. Their love, though forbidden, had been a source of strength and inspiration, a testament to the indomitable power of the human heart. Alara's thoughts turned to Queen Leora, a visionary who had dared to dream of a world where peace reigned supreme. Her secret was a pact forged in shadows, an alliance with a sworn enemy that had paved the way for an era of unprecedented prosperity. Her courage had reshaped the destiny of her kingdom, a legacy that endured long after her reign had ended. As Alara reflected on these stories, she felt a profound sense of connection to the women who had come before her. Their secrets were not burdens but gifts, timeless truths that transcended the boundaries of time and space. They were a reminder that even in the face of overwhelming odds, the human spirit could triumph, that love and hope could flourish in even the most desolate of landscapes. With renewed determination, Alara made her way to the castle's great hall, where the council of advisors awaited her presence. The chamber was a grand affair, its vaulted ceilings adorned with intricate frescoes that depicted scenes of valor and glory. Sunlight filtered through stained glass windows, casting vibrant patterns of color upon the stone floor, a mosaic of light that danced in harmony with the stories Alara carried in her heart. The advisors, a cadre of wise and learned men, rose as she entered, their expressions a mix of curiosity and respect. They had long been accustomed to the ways of kings, yet Alara's presence commanded a different kind of reverence. She was a queen unlike any they had known, and her journey to the Chamber of Secrets had only deepened their admiration. Taking her place at the head of the table, Alara addressed the council with a voice that was both gentle and resolute. "My lords," she began, her eyes meeting theirs with unwavering clarity, "I have returned from the Chamber of History, where the stories of our foremothers have spoken to me. They have shared with me their secrets, their hopes, and their dreams. And through their wisdom, I have found guidance for the path that lies before us." The advisors leaned forward, their interest piqued. Alara spoke of the lessons she had learned, of the courage and vision of the queens who had come before her. She shared the stories of love and sacrifice, of alliances forged in the shadows and triumphs achieved against all odds. Her words were a tapestry of inspiration, weaving together the past and the present in a symphony of possibility. As she spoke, the atmosphere in the great hall shifted. The advisors, who had been steeped in tradition and the ways of the past, found themselves invigorated by Alara's vision. Her stories were more than mere tales. They were a call to action, a reminder of the potential that lay within each of them to shape the future. When Alara finished, a moment of silence enveloped the room, a profound stillness that spoke of transformation. The advisors, moved by her words, pledged their support to her vision, their voices a chorus of newfound resolve. Together, they would forge a path forward, guided by the wisdom of the past and the promise of the future. As the meeting adjourned, Alara felt a sense of fulfillment, a deep knowing that she was not alone in her journey. The secrets she had uncovered were not just stories of queens long gone. They were a legacy of strength and resilience, a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit. Stepping out into the courtyard once more, Alara felt the warmth of the sun on her face, a gentle reminder of the light that now illuminated her path. The world around her was alive with possibility, a vibrant tapestry of life and hope. And as she walked among the flowers, their colors a riot of beauty and grace, she knew that the stories she carried within her were not just echoes of the past but seeds of the future, ready to blossom anew. Evening settled over the castle with a soft whisper, painting the sky in hues of indigo and gold. The air was thick with the perfume of night-blooming jasmine, its sweetness a balm to Alara's weary soul. As she wandered through the garden's winding paths, her thoughts drifted back to the revelations of the day. The tales of queens who had come before her, each with their own burdens and secrets, were now woven into the fabric of her own existence, a tapestry of courage and determination that spanned the ages. The moon rose high, casting silver beams that danced upon the leaves, and Alara felt a deep connection to those women of old. Their voices echoed in her heart, guiding her, urging her to uncover more of their hidden truths. It was a quest that had begun with curiosity but had grown into something much more profound, a mission to understand the mysteries that lay beneath the surface of history, to shine a light on the forgotten stories that had shaped her world. As she meandered through the gardens, the rhythmic chorus of crickets serenading the night, Alara's mind wandered to one queen in particular, Isolde, whose reign had been marked by whispers of dark magic and forbidden love. The records of her rule were sparse, filled with gaps and inconsistencies that hinted at secrets too dangerous to commit to parchment. Yet, there was an undeniable allure to Isolde's story, a pull that Alara could not resist. Isolde's legend spoke of a clandestine affair with a mysterious figure known only as the Shadow King, a man whose origins were as obscure as his motives. Together, they were said to have wielded an ancient power, a force that defied the known laws of the world. But was it merely a myth, or was there truth hidden within the shadows of legend? Alara knew she must dig deeper, to sift through the layers of time and uncover the essence of Isolde's tale. The answers, she felt, were hidden within the castle itself, in dusty tomes and forgotten chambers where the past lingered, waiting to be unearthed. The next morning dawned bright and clear, the sky a canvas of cerulean blue. Alara rose with a sense of determination, her heart set on uncovering the mysteries of Isolde's reign. She made her way to the castle's library, a vast hall filled with shelves that reached toward the heavens, each one brimming with the knowledge of centuries. The librarian, an elderly man with a face etched by time and eyes that gleamed with wisdom, greeted her with a nod. "Ah, Lady Alara," he said, his voice like crackling parchment. "What brings you to our haven of history today?" "I'm searching for records of Queen Isolde," Alara replied, her voice steady with purpose. "I wish to learn more about her life and reign." The librarian's brow furrowed slightly, a hint of caution in his gaze. "Isolde's tale is a complex one," he warned, shrouded in mystery and filled with contradictions. "Are you certain you wish to delve into such uncertain waters?" Alara nodded, resolute. "I believe there is truth to be found within the shadows," she said. "And I must uncover it." With a sigh, the librarian led her to a secluded corner of the library, where a collection of ancient scrolls and weathered tomes awaited. "These are the chronicles of Isolde's time," he explained. "But beware, for much of what you read may be more fiction than fact." Alara settled into a chair, the world around her fading into the background as she immersed herself in the pages before her. The texts were a labyrinth of fragmented narratives and cryptic accounts, each one hinting at the enigmatic nature of Isolde's rule. There were tales of a hidden chamber, a place where the queen was said to have communed with the forces of the beyond. Others spoke of a secret alliance with a neighboring kingdom, a pact sealed with blood and betrayal. As the hours slipped by, Alara found herself drawn deeper into the web of intrigue, her mind racing with possibilities. The more she read, the more she became convinced that Isolde's story held the key to understanding the power that lay dormant within her own lineage. But there was still so much she did not know, and the pieces of the puzzle eluded her grasp. Determined to uncover the truth, Alara resolved to explore the castle itself, to seek out the hidden places where Isolde's secrets might still linger. She began her search in the lower levels, where the air was cool and damp, and the walls were lined with rough-hewn stone. The corridors were silent, save for the distant echo of her footsteps, and each shadow seemed to whisper of forgotten tales. As she ventured deeper, Alara's heart quickened with anticipation, her senses attuned to every nuance of her surroundings. The castle's bowels were a labyrinth of passageways and chambers, many of which had been sealed for generations. It was in one such chamber that Alara found her first clue, a faded tapestry depicting a scene of stark beauty and haunting power. The image portrayed a queen standing at the edge of a dark forest, her hand entwined with that of a shadowy figure whose face was obscured. The scene was both captivating and unsettling, a visual echo of the legends that had captured Alara's imagination. What secrets did this tapestry hold, and why had it been hidden away? As she studied the artwork, Alara noticed a small emblem woven into the fabric, a symbol she had seen before, though she could not recall where. It was a mark of great significance, she sensed, a key to unlocking the mysteries that surrounded Isolde's reign. Driven by a newfound sense of urgency, Alara continued her exploration, guided by instinct and a growing awareness of the castle's hidden pathways. She descended further into the depths, her torch casting flickering shadows on the walls as she pressed onward. At last, she arrived at a door unlike any she had encountered before. It was wrought of iron and set with intricate carvings that seemed to pulse with a life of their own. The air around it was charged with energy, a tangible reminder of the power that had once coursed through these halls. With a deep breath, Alara pushed the door open, her heart thrumming with both fear and excitement. The chamber beyond was bathed in a soft, ethereal glow, its walls lined with shelves that held a collection of artifacts both strange and wondrous. In the center of the room stood an altar, upon which rested a book bound in leather as dark as midnight. Alara approached the altar with reverence, her fingers tracing the delicate patterns embossed upon the book's cover. It was a tome of great age, its pages filled with symbols and script that seemed to dance before her eyes. As she opened the book, Alara felt a surge of connection, as if the very essence of Isolde's story was flowing through her veins. The words within were a revelation, a testament to the queen's life and her clandestine alliance with the Shadow King. Here, at last, was the truth she had sought, a narrative of courage and sacrifice that defied the bounds of legend. With each page she turned, Alara felt the weight of history settle upon her shoulders, a mantle she was both honored and humbled to bear. The secrets of the past were no longer hidden from her sight. They were a guiding light, a beacon that illuminated the path she must tread. As she left the chamber, Alara knew that her journey was far from over. There were still questions to be answered, mysteries to be unraveled, and truths to be revealed. But with the legacy of Isolde as her guide, she was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, confident in the knowledge that the strength of the queens who had come before her would always be a part of her own story. The castle corridors seemed to whisper as Alara walked through them, her mind swirling with the revelations from Isolde's secret manuscript. Moonlight filtered through the high, arched windows, casting ethereal patterns on the stone floors. The air was cool and carried the faint scent of jasmine from the gardens below, a reminder of the world outside that continued its quiet slumber, unaware of the revelations unfolding within its ancient walls. As she navigated the labyrinthine halls, Alara's thoughts were a tapestry of emotions. Astonishment at the courage Isolde had displayed, awe at the depth of her wisdom, and a profound sense of duty to honor the legacy she had uncovered. The Shadow King, a figure shrouded in mystery and myth, had been more than a mere specter in the annals of history. He was a pivotal player in the delicate dance of power and protection that had defined Isolda's reign. The torch-lit passageways seemed to hum with the energy of those who had walked them before, the echoes of their whispered secrets brushing against Alara's ears. She knew that these walls had borne witness to countless tales, of love and betrayal, of triumph and tragedy. Each stone was imbued with the essence of those who had lived and died within the castle's embrace, their stories intertwining with her own. Reaching the grand library, Alara paused at the threshold, taking in the sight of the towering shelves filled with the wisdom of the ages. This room, with its scent of aged parchment and leather-bound tomes, was a haven for seekers of knowledge, a sanctuary for those who found solace in the written word. It was here that she would delve deeper, seeking answers to the questions that still lingered in the recesses of her mind. She moved with purpose among the rows of books, her fingers trailing softly over the spines as she selected volumes that might shed light on the enigmatic Shadow King. Each book she chose felt like a stepping stone on a path toward understanding, a journey she was determined to undertake with an open heart and mind. Settling into a plush armchair by the window, Alara opened the first tome, her eyes scanning the intricate script. The history of the Shadow King was one of enigma and allure, a tale woven with threads of truth and myth. He had been a master of subterfuge, a guardian of secrets, and yet, his legacy was one of protection and sacrifice. As she read, Alara felt a growing kinship with this figure, whose shadowy presence seemed to reach across time to touch her with a sense of shared purpose. The night wore on, the hours slipping away unnoticed as Alara lost herself in the stories of old. The moonlight shifted, casting long shadows that danced across the pages, and the flickering candlelight added a warm glow to the room, wrapping her in a cocoon of serenity. Yet, beneath the surface of tranquility, a frisson of suspense lingered. The more she learned, the more she realized how much was still veiled in mystery. The Shadow King had left behind a legacy of questions, and Alara's heart beat with the thrill of uncovering the truth. She felt an unspoken connection to him, as if the very fabric of their destinies were interwoven. As dawn's first light began to seep through the horizon, painting the sky with hues of rose and gold, Alara closed the final book with a gentle sigh. Her mind was a mosaic of thoughts and emotions, a tapestry of discovery that had enriched her soul. She rose from her seat, stretching her limbs, and gazed out the window at the awakening world. The garden below shimmered with dew, each droplet catching the light like a jewel, a reminder of the beauty that lay in the details. With renewed determination, Alara knew that her journey was far from over. The secrets of the Shadow King were but one chapter in the larger narrative she was destined to unravel. She felt a profound sense of gratitude for the queens who had come before her, their strength and wisdom a guiding force in her own quest. Leaving the library, Alara made her way to the garden, drawn by the allure of nature's embrace. The morning air was crisp and invigorating, filling her lungs with a sense of vitality. She wandered among the roses, their petals soft and fragrant, a reminder of the delicate balance between beauty and resilience. As she walked, Alara considered the path that lay ahead. There were still many unknowns, challenges that would test her resolve and courage. Yet, with the legacy of Isolda and the wisdom of the Shadow King as her compass, she felt ready to face whatever lay beyond the horizon. The garden was alive with the sounds of the morning, a symphony of birdsong and the gentle rustle of leaves in the breeze. It was a reminder that life was a tapestry of interconnected threads, each moment a part of a larger story. Alara knew that she was but one thread in this grand design, yet her role was vital, her actions capable of shaping the future. In the distance, the castle bells tolled, their sound resonating through the air, a call to the new day. Alara paused, closing her eyes and letting the sound wash over her, grounding her in the present moment. She felt a sense of peace and purpose, a quiet strength that came from knowing she was not alone on this journey. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, casting its warm glow over the land, Alara turned her steps back toward the castle. There was much to be done, mysteries to unravel, and truths to reveal. She carried with her the legacy of the queens who had come before, their stories a beacon of hope and inspiration. With each step, Alara felt the weight of history and the promise of the future, a balance she was determined to uphold. Her journey was one of discovery and growth, a path she would walk with courage and grace, guided by the whispers of the past and the promise of what lay ahead. In the heart of the castle, where shadows danced with the flickering light of torches, the air was thick with anticipation. The corridors stretched out like ancient veins, pulsating with the whispers of secrets long held and truths yet to be spoken. Alara navigated these winding paths with the ease of one who belongs, each turn and archway as familiar to her as the lines on her palms. The grand hall awaited her, its vaulted ceilings echoing the splendor of ages past. Here, portraits of queens adorned the walls, their eyes watching over the realm, each gaze a testament to the power and wisdom they wielded in their lifetimes. Alara's own lineage traced back through these formidable women, each one a custodian of a sacred trust, a guardian of secrets that could alter the course of kingdoms. As she entered the hall, the scent of beeswax and lavender lingered in the air, a soothing balm that seemed to calm the turbulent thoughts swirling in her mind. The tapestries on the walls, rich with vibrant colors and intricate designs, told stories of battles won and lost, of alliances forged and broken, and of the relentless march of time. Each thread was a reminder of the delicate balance she must maintain, a tapestry she was now a part of. Alara's footsteps were soft against the stone floor, barely a whisper amidst the hushed atmosphere. She moved with purpose, her heart steady and her mind sharp, each step bringing her closer to the chamber where the council awaited. The world outside was alive with the symphony of nature, the rustle of leaves, the song of birds, and the gentle murmur of the wind. But within these walls, a different kind of symphony played, one of duty and destiny, of decisions that would shape the future of the realm. The council chamber was a place of both power and vulnerability, where truths were spoken and strategies forged. As she crossed the threshold, the assembled nobles turned their attention toward her, their expressions a mix of curiosity and respect. Alara met their gaze with calm assurance, her presence a steadying force in the midst of uncertainty. Lord Ainsley, a man of imposing stature and sharp intellect, rose to greet her. His voice, though deep and resonant, held a note of warmth. "Lady Alara, your presence is both an honor and a necessity. We have much to discuss." She inclined her head in acknowledgement, her eyes meeting his with a quiet intensity. "Indeed, my lord, the times demand our vigilance and wisdom." Around the table, parchment maps lay unfurled, their surfaces marked with annotations and symbols, a testament to the strategic minds gathered here. The discussions that followed were a dance of words, each participant contributing their perspective, their insights weaving together a tapestry of possibilities and outcomes. Yet beneath the surface of these deliberations, an undercurrent of unease flowed, a shadow that Alara could not ignore. She sensed the tension in the room, the unspoken fears and doubts that lingered at the edges of conversation. It was an unvoiced question that hung in the air. What secrets lay hidden, waiting to be unveiled? As the meeting stretched on, Alara's thoughts drifted to the scroll she had discovered, a piece of forgotten history that hinted at a past shrouded in mystery. The parchment was fragile, its edges worn and faded, yet the words it held were potent and alive, a connection to the voices of queens who had once walked these halls. The scroll spoke of an alliance, a pact forged in secrecy, a bond that transcended time and distance. The revelation had set her on a path of inquiry, a journey to uncover the truth behind the whispers she had heard since childhood. In the quiet moments of reflection, she had pieced together fragments of stories, snippets of conversations overheard and half remembered, each one a clue in a larger puzzle. The answers lay within reach, tantalizingly close, yet elusive as smoke. As the council adjourned, Alara found herself drawn to the library, a sanctuary of knowledge and reflection. The chamber was filled with the scent of old leather and ink, the shelves lined with volumes that spanned centuries. Here, Within these walls, she felt the presence of those who had come before, their wisdom a guiding light in the darkness. She selected a tome, its cover embossed with the sigils of the realm, and settled into a window seat bathed in the soft glow of afternoon light. The pages turned beneath her fingers, each one a step deeper into the past, into the lives of the queens who had shaped the destiny of their people. As she read, Alara felt a connection to these women, a kinship that transcended time and circumstance. Their stories were woven with threads of courage and sacrifice, of love and loss, of choices made in the face of impossible odds. Each queen had carried the weight of her crown with grace and resolve, her legacy a testament to the strength of the human spirit. The sun dipped lower in the sky, casting long shadows across the room, and as the light faded, Alara's resolve deepened. There was a truth she had yet to uncover, a secret that lay hidden within the annals of history. It was a revelation that held the power to change everything, to alter the course of the future and reshape the destiny of the realm. With a quiet determination, she closed the book and rose to her feet, her heart steady and her mind clear. The path before her was fraught with challenges, but she was not afraid. She would walk this journey with courage and conviction, guided by the legacy of those who had come before and the promise of what lay ahead. As Alara stepped into the cool evening air, the stars began to emerge, their light a beacon in the twilight. The castle loomed behind her, its walls a testament to the strength and resilience of the realm. And as she gazed up at the night sky, she felt a deep sense of peace, a quiet assurance that she was part of something greater, a story that would continue to unfold with each passing day. For within the heart of the castle, where shadows danced and secrets lay hidden, the legacy of the queens lived on, a testament to the power of truth and the enduring strength of the human spirit. And Alara knew, with every fiber of her being, that she was ready to face whatever lay ahead, to embrace the mysteries of the past and the promise of the future, with courage and grace. The air was crisp with the chill of impending nightfall as Alara descended the stone steps leading from the castle's grand entrance. Each step echoed with a subtle finality, as if the ancient stones themselves whispered tales of bygone eras, of queens who had once traversed these very paths with secrets sealed within their hearts. Alara pulled her cloak tighter against the evening breeze, its fabric rustling softly like the whispers of those long-gone sovereigns. Her mind wandered to the stories she had uncovered, tales woven into the very fabric of the realm's history. Each queen had left behind a legacy, hidden beneath the veneer of courtly elegance and royal duty. Alara was determined to unravel these stories, to bring their truths into the light where they could no longer be obscured by the shadows of time. As she walked through the castle gardens, the scent of night-blooming jasmine filled the air, its sweet fragrance mingling with the earthy aroma of freshly turned soil. The gardens were a sanctuary, a place where nature reigned supreme, unencumbered by the walls of stone that encased the castle. Here, under the open sky, Alara felt a connection to the earth, to the life that pulsed beneath her feet and to the ancients who had once walked these gardens in contemplation and solitude. The moon began its ascent, casting a silvery glow over the world, painting the landscape in shades of monochrome. It was under this ethereal light that Alara found herself drawn to the old oak tree at the edge of the gardens. Its gnarled branches reached skyward, a sentinel that had stood watch over countless generations. She rested her hand against its rough bark, feeling the life force that coursed through its ancient trunk. This tree, she mused, had surely heard the whispers of queens who had come here to unburden their hearts, to confide in its silent wisdom. Alara closed her eyes, letting the cool breeze caress her face, carrying with it the distant murmur of the river that wound its way through the valley below. It was in moments like these that she felt the weight of her mission, the enormity of the truths she sought to uncover. And yet, within that weight lay a profound sense of purpose, a calling that transcended her own life and connected her to those who had come before. Her thoughts drifted to Queen Isolde, whose reign had been marked by tranquility and prosperity, yet beneath the surface, a turbulent undercurrent had flowed. Isolde had been a woman of great intelligence and foresight, her mind as sharp as any sword. She had navigated the treacherous waters of court politics with grace and cunning, all the while hiding a secret that, if revealed, could have shattered the fragile peace she had cultivated. It was said that Isolde had possessed a book, a tome of forbidden knowledge passed down through generations of queens. Within its pages lay alchemical formulas and mystical insights, secrets whispered by the stars themselves. The existence of this book had been a closely guarded secret, known only to the queens of the realm and their most trusted advisors. Alara had heard whispers of its existence, tales passed down through the generations, but she had never been able to confirm its truth. Yet now, as she stood beneath the ancient oak, she felt a stirring within her soul, a sense that the answers she sought were within reach, if only she had the courage to seek them out. As the night deepened, the gardens fell silent save for the gentle rustling of leaves in the breeze. Alara's thoughts turned to the candlelit study where she had spent countless hours poring over dusty tomes and faded manuscripts, searching for any clue that might lead her to the truth. She recalled the moment she had first stumbled upon the mention of the book, a fleeting reference in a forgotten diary, its pages yellowed with age. The diary had belonged to Melis, a lady-in-waiting to Queen Isolde, who had recorded her thoughts with a poet's hand, capturing the essence of court life in vivid detail. It was in Melis's words that Alara had found a glimmer of hope, a tantalizing hint that the book was more than mere legend. Determined to uncover the truth, Alara knew she must return to the study, to delve once more into the archives that held the secrets of the realm's past. She would follow the thread of history, unraveling the tapestry of lies and half-truths until she held in her hands the key to the queen's hidden legacies. With renewed resolve, Alara turned from the oak tree and made her way back through the gardens, the moon guiding her path. The castle loomed ahead, its silhouette etched against the star-studded sky. She felt a sense of urgency, a quickening of the pulse as she approached the door to the study, her sanctuary and her battlefield. Inside, the room was bathed in the soft glow of candlelight, casting flickering shadows on the walls. Shelves lined with books stretched up to the ceiling, a treasure trove of knowledge waiting to be discovered. Alara moved with purpose, her fingers trailing lightly over the spines of the volumes, each one a potential doorway to the past. Her heart skipped a beat as she reached the shelf where Melis's diary was kept, its leather cover worn and fragile. She opened it with care, the pages rustling softly as she turned them, her eyes scanning the familiar handwriting for clues she might have missed. As she read, Alara found herself drawn into Melis's world, the words painting a vivid picture of the court's intrigues and the queen's enigmatic presence. Melis had been devoted to Isolde, her loyalty unwavering, yet within her words lay a hint of fear, a suggestion that she had known more than she had dared to reveal. Alara's breath caught as she stumbled upon a passage she had overlooked before, a cryptic reference to a hidden chamber beneath the castle, a place where the queen had often retreated in solitude. Could this be the key she had been searching for, the place where the book had been hidden away, safe from prying eyes? The excitement was palpable, a thrill that coursed through her veins as she closed the diary, its secrets locked once more within its pages. She knew what she must do, the path she must take to uncover the truth. The hidden chamber awaited her, a mystery that had eluded discovery for centuries. With a determined heart, Alara extinguished the candles, plunging the room into darkness. She would rest now, gather her strength for the journey that lay ahead. And when the first light of dawn touched the horizon, she would set forth on her quest, guided by the whispers of the past and the promise of the future. As she lay in her chamber, the moonlight casting silver patterns on the walls, Alara felt a sense of calm settle over her. She was not alone in this journey. The spirits of the queens walked beside her, their courage and wisdom a guiding force. And as she closed her eyes, she knew that the secrets of the realm were within her grasp, waiting to be revealed, waiting to be told. The night air was cool and gentle, a soft caress that whispered through the stone corridors of the ancient castle. Outside, the world was quiet, wrapped in the velvet embrace of midnight. The stars, like scattered diamonds, twinkled in the vastness above, their silent vigil a testament to the mysteries of the universe. Alara, cocooned in her bed, found solace in the rhythmic dance of shadows and light, a lullaby that soothed her restless spirit. Her dreams were filled with images of queens long past, figures of grace and strength, their eyes deep with knowledge untold. They moved through her mind like specters, weaving a tapestry of stories, each thread a secret, each knot a truth waiting to be unraveled. She saw them in gardens, beneath archways, and in courts filled with laughter and intrigue. Their voices, though silent, spoke volumes, guiding her toward the path she must walk. As the first fingers of dawn crept over the horizon, painting the sky in hues of pink and gold, Alara stirred. The castle slowly awakened, its stones warming under the gentle touch of the sun. She rose with purpose, her heart a steady drumbeat of resolve. Today, she would begin her search for the hidden chamber, the heart of the mystery she so longed to uncover. Dressed in the simple garb of a commoner to avoid arousing suspicion, Alara moved through the castle with a quiet grace. She knew the layout well, having explored its many rooms and corridors in her childhood. Yet, the diary's cryptic hints suggested a part of the castle she had never seen, a place that existed in the shadows, hidden from the eyes of the world. Her first stop was the library, its shelves filled with the knowledge of centuries. Here, she hoped to find maps or records that might hint at the chamber's location. The air was thick with the scent of parchment and ink, a perfume of history that enveloped her as she searched. She traced her fingers along the spines of the books, feeling a connection to those who had come before, seekers of truth and keepers of secrets. Hours passed, the sun climbing high in the sky as Alara pored over dusty tomes and forgotten scrolls. She found references to secret passages and hidden rooms, tales of intrigue and deception, but nothing concrete. Frustration gnawed at her, but she refused to be deterred. The answers were here, woven into the very fabric of the castle, and she would find them. It was a faded manuscript, tucked away in a corner, that finally caught her eye. The pages were brittle, the ink faded by time, but the words held a promise of revelation. It spoke of a chamber hidden within the walls, accessible only through a series of puzzles and traps designed to protect its secrets from prying eyes. The queen who had commissioned it had been a master of deception, her intelligence and cunning renowned throughout the land. Alara's pulse quickened as she deciphered the clues, the thrill of discovery afire in her veins. The manuscript hinted at a starting point in the north wing, where a portrait of the queen herself hung. Beneath it, a mechanism hidden within the stone, a key to the mysteries beyond. Armed with this knowledge, Alara made her way to the north wing, her heart a symphony of anticipation. The corridors were empty, the castle's inhabitants busy with their daily routines, oblivious to the secrets that lay beneath their feet. She moved with purpose, the manuscript clutched tightly in her hand, a compass guiding her steps. The portrait was magnificent, a testament to the queen's beauty and power. Her eyes, painted with such skill, seemed to follow Alara as she approached, their gaze a silent challenge. Alara reached out, her fingers brushing the frame, searching for the mechanism the manuscript had described. There, a slight indentation, almost imperceptible, hidden in the intricate carvings of the frame. Her heart pounded as she pressed it, the sound of stone grating against stone filling the air. The portrait swung open, revealing a narrow passageway, dark and foreboding. Alara hesitated for a moment, the weight of her actions heavy upon her. But the pull of the unknown was irresistible, a siren's call she could not refuse. She stepped into the passage, the air cool and damp around her, the scent of earth and stone a reminder of the age and history she was now a part of. The passage was narrow, forcing her to move carefully, her hands trailing along the walls for balance. It twisted and turned, a labyrinthine path that seemed to defy logic. Yet, she felt a strange sense of familiarity, as if she had walked this path before, led by the spirits of the queens who had come before her. After what felt like an eternity, the passage opened into a chamber, its walls lined with intricate carvings that told stories of love and betrayal, of power and sacrifice. In the center stood a pedestal, upon which rested a book bound in leather, its cover adorned with the royal crest. Alara approached reverently, her fingers trembling as she reached for the book. As she opened it, the pages whispered secrets long buried, tales of queens who had ruled with wisdom and cunning, their legacies hidden from the world. Each page was a revelation, each word a key to understanding the past. But it was the final entry that took her breath away, a confession penned by the queen who had created the chamber. It spoke of a child, a secret heir hidden away to protect the kingdom from those who would seek to usurp the throne. The implications were staggering, a revelation that could change the course of history. Alara's mind raced, the weight of her discovery a burden and a gift. She knew she must tread carefully, the path ahead fraught with danger and intrigue. Yet, the truth was a beacon, a light in the darkness that guided her steps. She closed the book, its secrets now her own, and turned to leave the chamber. As she retraced her steps through the passage, her mind was a whirlwind of possibilities and plans. The queens had entrusted her with their secrets, and she would honor their legacy, ensuring that their stories were told and their truths revealed. The castle was quiet as she emerged into the light, the sun casting long shadows across the courtyard. Alara took a deep breath, the air crisp and invigorating, a reminder of the world she was now a part of. She had uncovered the secrets of the past, and with them, the promise of a future shaped by truth and courage. And so, with the spirits of the queens beside her and the weight of history in her hands, Alara set forth, her heart a compass guiding her toward the destiny that awaited. The day wore on, and the castle gradually bloomed with the soft, golden light of a late afternoon. Alara moved through the stone corridors with a newfound purpose, the echoes of her footsteps harmonizing with the distant songs of birds returning to their nests. Each step she took seemed to reverberate with the whispers of the past, the secrets she carried now as much a part of her as the air she breathed. Alara knew she could not embark on this journey alone. She needed allies, confidants who could help her navigate the treacherous waters of court politics, where every glance held a hidden meaning, and every word was a double-edged sword. The knowledge she possessed was a powerful tool, but also a perilous threat to those who would prefer it remained buried. The grand hall stretched before her, its vastness echoing with the history of generations. Here, decisions had been made, alliances forged, and betrayals enacted. Alara paused, her eyes tracing the stories etched into the very walls. She could almost hear the whispers of the past queens, urging her to be cautious, yet bold. Her fingers brushed the tapestry that hung on the wall, depicting scenes of valor and despair, love and loss. Each thread seemed to vibrate with a life of its own, weaving a tapestry not just of images, but of emotions and memories. She knew her first step must be to confide in someone who could help her navigate these waters. Her thoughts turned to Lady Isolde, her mentor and friend, whose wisdom was as deep as the ocean and whose loyalty was as unyielding as the mountains. Lady Isolde had been a trusted advisor to the previous queen, and her counsel was invaluable. Alara found her in the gardens, where the scent of roses mingled with the earthy aroma of freshly turned soil. Lady Isolde was tending to the flowers, her hands gentle and sure as she pruned the roses with care. Her presence was a balm, a soothing reminder of constancy in a world that seemed to shift beneath Alara's feet. "My lady," Alara called softly, not wanting to disturb the tranquility of the scene. Lady Isolde looked up, her eyes a serene blue, like the calm sea under a cloudless sky. "Alara, my dear, what brings you here with such urgency in your eyes?" Alara hesitated, the weight of her secret pressing heavily on her shoulders. "I have discovered something," she began, her voice a whisper carried by the wind. "Something that could change everything." Lady Isolde's expression shifted, curiosity and concern mingling in her gaze. She set down her shears and gestured for Alara to sit beside her on the stone bench. "Tell me, child, what have you found?" And so, Alara recounted her journey into the hidden chamber, the ancient book with its revelations, and the secrets of the queens that had been entrusted to her. As she spoke, Lady Isolde listened intently, her face a mask of concentration. When Alara finished, there was a silence, profound and contemplative. Lady Isolde's eyes were distant, lost in thought, as she processed the enormity of what she had heard. Finally, she spoke, her voice a soft murmur, like the rustle of leaves in the breeze. "You have stumbled upon a legacy, Alara. A legacy of strength and courage hidden beneath layers of silence. The queens of the past have chosen you to be their voice, to bring their truths to light. This is no small task, but I believe you are capable." Alara felt a surge of gratitude and relief. In Lady Isolde, she knew she had found a kindred spirit, someone who would stand by her side as she navigated the complex web of courtly intrigue. Together, they could unravel the threads of secrecy and deception that threatened to ensnare them. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of pink and gold, Alara and Lady Isolde rose from the bench, their resolve firm. The path ahead was fraught with challenges, but they were ready to face them together. The days that followed were filled with careful planning and quiet conversations held in the shadows. Alara and Lady Isolde worked tirelessly, piecing together the fragments of history, connecting the dots between the lives of the queens and the present day. They pored over documents, analyzed correspondences, and sought out those who might have insights into the past. Their efforts were not without risk. The court was a place of intrigue, where alliances shifted like sand and loyalty was a rare commodity. Alara knew they had to be cautious, to tread lightly as they gathered information and allies. One evening, as the castle lay shrouded in twilight, Alara found herself in the library once more, surrounded by the comforting presence of books and ancient tomes. The flickering candlelight cast dancing shadows on the walls, creating an atmosphere of mystery and reflection. She reached for a volume bound in faded leather, its spine cracked with age, and began to read. The words flowed like a river, carrying her back in time to the days of the queens whose secrets she now held. The tales of their struggles and triumphs, their loves and losses, unfolded before her, weaving a tapestry of human experience that transcended time. As she read, a sudden noise broke the silence, a soft rustling, as if someone were turning the pages of a book. Alara's heart quickened, her senses heightened. She looked around, her eyes scanning the dimly lit room. But there was no one there, only the shadows and the quiet hum of the night. Yet, she felt a presence, an intangible connection to the past that lingered in the air. It was as if the queens themselves were watching over her, guiding her through the labyrinth of secrets she had uncovered. Alara took a deep breath, allowing the sensation to wash over her, a reminder of the responsibility she carried. The days turned into weeks, and the tapestry of secrets grew ever more intricate. Alara and Lady Isolde uncovered tales of forbidden romances, hidden alliances, and betrayals that had changed the course of history. They discovered the stories of queens who had wielded power from the shadows, their influence felt but never seen, their legacies obscured by the passage of time. And as they delved deeper, the stakes grew higher. Alara sensed that they were not the only ones seeking the truth. Whispers of their investigation had reached the ears of those who would rather the past remained buried, and the shadows of the court began to shift, revealing hidden adversaries who would stop at nothing to protect their secrets. Yet, amidst the danger and uncertainty, Alara found strength in the stories of the queens who had come before her. Their resilience was a beacon, guiding her through the darkness. She understood that the path she had chosen was fraught with peril, but it was also a path of enlightenment, a journey toward uncovering the truths that had been concealed for far too long. As the moon rose high in the night sky, casting its silvery glow across the castle grounds, Alara stood at the window of her chamber, gazing out at the world beyond. The night was calm, a vast expanse of stars twinkling like diamonds against the velvet sky. It was a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there was light to be found. And so, with the secrets of the queens as her guide, Alara resolved to continue her quest, to unravel the mysteries of the past and bring them into the light of the present. She knew that the road ahead would be challenging, but she was ready to face whatever lay in store, buoyed by the courage and wisdom of those who had walked this path before her. The castle walls seemed to breathe with the whispers of the past, each stone a silent witness to the stories etched in time, stories that Alara had vowed to uncover. As she stood by the window, the soft rustle of the night breeze carried with it the scent of jasmine, mingling with the coolness of the air. It was a fragrance that spoke of secrets, of hidden gardens and clandestine meetings under the cloak of darkness. Alara turned from the window, her gaze resting on the flickering candlelight that danced upon the walls of her chamber. Shadows played across the stone, weaving intricate patterns that seemed to hold a language of their own. She imagined the queens who had once inhabited these very chambers, their lives woven into the tapestry of the castle. Each had left a legacy, a fragment of their being that lingered in the corridors and whispered through the halls. Her fingers brushed against a worn leather-bound tome resting on the table, its pages yellowed with age. It was one of the many books she had discovered hidden within the castle library, their spines cracked and their words faded but still potent with knowledge. These tomes held the chronicles of queens long past, their lives immortalized in ink and parchment. Alara had spent countless nights poring over their stories, piecing together the fragments of their lives like a mosaic. The tales were as varied as the queens themselves, each one a tapestry of intrigue, power, and sacrifice. There was Queen Elisande, whose beauty was said to rival that of the moonlit night, yet beneath her graceful exterior lay a heart of steel, a queen who had brokered peace through alliances forged in secret. Then there was Queen Isolde, the warrior queen, who had donned armor and ridden into battle to defend her realm, her courage a flame that burned brightly even in the face of overwhelming odds. But it was the story of Queen Serafina that resonated most deeply with Alara, a story shrouded in mystery and enigma. Serafina was known as the Seer Queen, a woman whose visions had shaped the destiny of her kingdom. It was said that she could glimpse the threads of fate, weaving them into a tapestry of her own design. Yet her gift had also been her curse, for it had drawn the suspicion and fear of those who did not understand the power she wielded. Alara felt a kinship with Serafina, a connection that transcended the boundaries of time. She too had felt the weight of expectation, the burden of knowledge that set her apart. And like Serafina, she understood that power, though a formidable ally, was also a double-edged sword. It had the potential to uplift and to destroy, to illuminate and to cast shadows. As the night deepened, Alara's mind returned to the present, to the task that lay before her. She had learned that the castle held many secrets, hidden passageways and concealed chambers that had been forgotten by all but a few. It was in these hidden spaces that she hoped to find the answers she sought, to uncover the truths that had been buried beneath layers of time and silence. With a determined resolve, Alara slipped from her chamber, her footsteps silent upon the cold stone floor. The corridors were dimly lit, the sconces casting a gentle glow that guided her way. She moved with the grace of a shadow, her heart steady as she navigated the twists and turns of the castle. Her destination was the old tower, a place shrouded in mystery and legend. It was said that the tower had once been the private sanctum of the queens, a place where they could retreat from the demands of the court and commune with their innermost thoughts. Alara had discovered a hidden staircase that led to the tower, a secret passage that had been concealed behind a tapestry. The tapestry depicted the story of a queen who had tamed a dragon, her figure poised and regal as she held the creature at bay. Alara had always been captivated by the image, the way it seemed to capture the essence of strength and vulnerability intertwined. She pushed the tapestry aside, revealing the narrow staircase that spiraled upward into darkness. With each step, Alara felt the weight of history pressing down upon her, a tangible presence that enveloped her like a cloak. The air grew cooler as she ascended, the stone walls closing in around her. Her heart quickened, a steady drumbeat that echoed in the silence. At last, she reached the top of the staircase, emerging into a circular chamber bathed in the soft glow of moonlight. The room was sparsely furnished, a simple wooden table and a single chair the only adornments. But it was the walls that captured Alara's attention, for they were covered in intricate carvings, a tapestry of symbols and glyphs that seemed to dance in the moonlight. Alara approached the walls, her fingers tracing the carved lines with reverence. The symbols were unfamiliar, yet they spoke to her on a primal level, a language that transcended words. She could sense the presence of the queens who had once stood in this very room, their voices a chorus that resonated in her mind. In the center of the chamber stood a pedestal, upon which rested an ornate box. Its surface was inlaid with mother of pearl, the iridescent sheen reflecting the light in a myriad of colors. Alara hesitated for a moment, the weight of anticipation heavy upon her shoulders. With a deep breath, she reached out, her fingers brushing against the cool surface of the box. It opened with a soft click, revealing its contents, a delicate diadem, crafted from silver and set with sapphires that glimmered like stars. It was a thing of beauty, a crown that seemed to pulsate with a life of its own. As she lifted the diadem from its resting place, Alara felt a surge of energy coursing through her veins, a connection to the queens who had worn it before her. It was as if their spirits had been imbued within the crown, their wisdom and strength flowing into her. Alara placed the diadem upon her brow, feeling its weight settle like a mantle of responsibility. In that moment, she understood the true nature of the legacy she had inherited, the power and the burden that came with it. She was not alone, for she carried with her the hopes and dreams of generations of queens, their stories woven into the fabric of her own. As she stood in the tower, bathed in the light of the moon, Alara felt a sense of peace wash over her. The path she had chosen was fraught with challenges, but it was also a path of discovery, a journey that would lead her to the truths she sought. And with the guidance of the queens who had come before her, she knew that she would not falter. The night stretched on, a tapestry of stars and shadows, and Alara remained in the tower, her heart alight with the promise of what was to come. She was ready to face the secrets that lay hidden within the castle, to bring them into the light and share them with the world. For she was a queen, and her story was only just beginning. As the first light of dawn crept over the horizon, painting the sky in hues of pink and gold, Alara descended from the tower with newfound resolve. The corridors of the castle, once shrouded in mystery and silence, now seemed to whisper secrets in her ear, urging her onward. Each step she took echoed with the footsteps of those who had walked before her, a lineage of courage and wisdom. With the rising sun, the castle came alive, its ancient stones warming under the gentle caress of daylight. The courtiers and attendants, unaware of the revelations of the night, went about their duties, their lives intertwined with the destiny of their queen. Alara moved among them with grace, her heart a steady drumbeat of determination. In the great hall, she paused, her eyes sweeping over the banners that told the stories of her ancestors. She felt their presence, a silent assembly of guiding spirits. With a deep breath, she turned to her trusted advisors and began to speak, her voice steady and clear, a beacon of hope and change. "We have much to do," she declared, her words carrying the weight of promises made and futures envisioned. "Together, we will unveil the truths that have long been hidden and forge a new path for our kingdom." The days that followed were filled with both toil and triumph. Alara, with the wisdom of ages behind her, navigated the complexities of her reign with a deft hand. The secrets of the castle, once hidden in shadow, were brought into the light, their mysteries unraveled and shared with the people. Knowledge became a bridge between the past and the present, and under her rule, the kingdom flourished. In time, Alara's story became legend, a tale of courage and enlightenment that would inspire generations to come. Her legacy was not just one of power, but of understanding and unity, woven into the hearts of her people like the threads of a grand tapestry. And so, as the years turned like pages in a book, Alara's name was spoken with reverence and love, her story a shining thread in the endless fabric of time. The moon rose and set, the stars danced across the sky, and the castle stood strong, a symbol of all that had been achieved and all that was yet to be. The journey was far from over, for in every ending there is a beginning, and in every tale, a whisper of the infinite. Alara's legacy lived on, a beacon of hope in an ever-turning world, and her heart, like the castle she called home, remained forever alight with the promise of what was to come. And thus, the realm continued to thrive, nurtured by the seeds of wisdom and compassion that Alara had sown. Her spirit lingered like a gentle breeze, rustling through the leaves of the great oaks that lined the kingdom's pathways, whispering secrets of the ages to those who cared to listen. Generations came and went, each one drawing strength from the stories of Alara's reign. The children of the kingdom grew up with tales of her bravery, and they dreamed of making their world as harmonious as she had made hers. The elders, too, found solace in her story, a reminder that change was always possible, that light could emerge even from the deepest shadows. As seasons melted into one another, the lands around the castle blossomed with life. Fields of wildflowers swayed in the gentle breeze, rivers sang their ancient songs, and the forest stood tall, a guardian of the secrets whispered through its branches. The castle itself, a majestic silhouette against the evening sky, held within its walls the echoes of Alara's laughter, the warmth of her kindness, and the strength of her resolve. In the end, Alara's story was not just a chapter in the kingdom's history. It was a song sung by the winds, a dance performed by the stars, a dream etched into the very soul of the earth. It was a testament to the enduring power of love and wisdom, reminding all who heard it that the greatest journeys are those of the heart. And so, the world turned, as it always does, carrying with it the light of Alara's legacy, a beacon guiding the way through the ages. Her story, like a river, flowed ever onward, touching lives and shaping destinies, forever a part of the endless tale of life itself. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of amber and violet, the castle stood as a silent witness to the passage of time. It cradled within its ancient stones the stories of those who had walked its halls, stories that would be whispered from generation to generation, like leaves carried by the wind. The people of the kingdom, inspired by Alara's courage and compassion, continued to weave her values into the fabric of their lives. Children played in the meadows, their laughter echoing the joy that Alara had brought to the realm. Elders shared tales of her bravery by the fireside, their voices blending with the crackling flames, ensuring her memory would never fade. In the heart of the forest, where the trees towered like sentinels, a lone nightingale began to sing. Its song, pure and hauntingly beautiful, drifted across the land, a melody that spoke of hope and renewal. The song was a gift, a reminder that even in the quiet moments, Alara's spirit lingered, a gentle presence in the world she had cherished. And so, as the stars blossomed in the night sky, the tale of Alara found its place among them, a constellation of dreams and deeds, a guiding light for those who dared to dream. Her story, alive in every heart it touched, served as a compass, pointing toward a future where love and wisdom would forever reign. Thus, the kingdom flourished, nurtured by the legacy of a queen whose heart had been as vast and as enduring as the sky itself. And in that kingdom, forever touched by her grace, life continued its eternal dance, a testament to the power of a story well told. The forest, with its ageless trees and whispering winds, cradled the kingdom in a gentle embrace, holding the echoes of Alara's laughter and the warmth of her kindness. Seasons came and went, painting the landscape with vibrant hues and soft snows, each change a heartbeat in the timeless rhythm of the earth. Villagers spoke of Alara with reverence, her name a song on their lips, passed from one generation to the next. Children grew up hearing tales of her wisdom and courage, their eyes wide with wonder as they imagined her adventures. Artists captured her essence in colors and words, while musicians composed ballads that sang of her enduring spirit. In the heart of the kingdom, a garden bloomed, tended lovingly by all who remembered her gentle touch. Roses of every shade flourished there, their fragrance a reminder of the beauty she had brought into the world. It was a place of peace, where people came to reflect and find solace, feeling her presence in the rustle of leaves and the soft murmur of the stream. And high above, in the vastness of the night, the stars shone with a brilliance that seemed to pulse with life. Among them, the constellation of Alara burned brightly, a celestial tapestry woven from dreams and stardust, guiding travelers and dreamers alike with its unwavering light. Time flowed like a river, carrying with it the stories and songs of those who had come before. Yet, within the kingdom's heart, Alara's legacy remained, a living testament to the power of love and the enduring strength of hope. Her story was not just a tale of the past, but a living, breathing promise of what could be. And so, in that land where dreams blossomed and stories never died, the world turned gently onward, forever enriched who had once walked among them, her spirit as boundless as the sky, her heart as eternal as the stars.